Guess we could text a few people, let them know.
I know like Couché and Weidenhammer are not coming this evening.
Okay.
I'm not sure if anyone else had intended. Ooh, I have a doorbell. Somebody's coming in.
Nance, she's making pork chops tonight with that Mavericks meat rub.
Who is?
Smith.
I'm gonna have to. I don't know what what we're eating tonight. My wife isn't even home, so that means she's not cooking anything.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for joining us. I'm just waiting on just a few more, and then we'll go ahead and begin. All right, I'm going to go into presentation mode, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm on my laptop, so that means I don't see you all, but you all can see me. I have the screen up. Can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes? No?
No, actually, no,
I
I can't.
I don't.
My apologies. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
We're in business.
Mm-hmm.
Moving and shaking. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and present our presentation for tonight. I'm going to preface this before I call to order. Our SAC chair, Ms. Mira, is not here this evening. She had to leave for a family emergency, so I am stepping in as the treasurer to conduct this meeting. Okay, so the time is now 5:32. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Hold on just 1 second. Maybe this should have my apologies. I promise this is the correct presentation. All right, so my name is Rhonda Smith, assistant principal at JFK Middle School. I am also the SAC treasurer for the SY21 school year. I'd like to thank you all for coming this evening. Before we begin, I'd like to have us say the pledge. And Mr. Graydon, who is our 8th grade assistant principal, if you would please lead us into the pledge.
All right, guys. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, so I have our agenda. The agenda was also sent out via email to the staff, the community members, and parents. I do have it listed here. You can also find it on our school website after this meeting, along with the recording of this meeting, because this meeting is being recorded. Moving on with our agenda, I would like a motion to waive the reading and to approve the minutes of our September 9th meeting. Those meeting minutes were also sent along with the agenda for this meeting. Additionally, they can be found on the school website at jfkmiddle.org. Is there a motion to waive the reading and to approve the minutes? And if you do make the motion, if you could just state your name for our meeting minutes.
Yeah, I'll make the motion. Timothy Nance.
Thank you, Mr. Nance.
And I'll second. Ronnie Graydon.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so this evening, Mr. Clark could not be present. However, Mr. Nance, our 7th grade assistant principal, is going to discuss with you some of the principal's notes and reports for the month of October. Mr. Nance?
Good evening, everyone. I'm filling in for Mr. Clark with the principal's report today. And so I'm gonna try to take my time because this, some of the recordings are coming out a little muffled. And there's no way for you to tell me that, but hopefully everything goes right and you can hear everything. So here goes. This is for our meeting today on the 14th. Mr. Clark would like to say good evening. When we opened school, which was in brick and mortar, we had a total of 131 students attend on the first day. We currently are up to 178 students attending brick and mortar. Students are following the protocols that we have put in place, such as wearing their mask at all times, remaining socially distant from one another, and washing their hands as frequent as possible. With that in mind, we are happy to report that we have not had any COVID-19 cases to date. The remaining students are attending school virtually. Under safety, the FLDOE mandates that we conduct 10 fire drills and 10 active assailant drills, code reds, and 2 tornado drills. Currently, we have conducted 2 fire drills and 2 code red drills. Teachers and students perform these drills with little to no incident. Under instruction, currently all students this week will be completing district diagnostic testing. That's going to be from October 14th through the 16th, so the rest of the week, in math and English. The data from the diagnostic test will be used to celebrate student successes, make instructional decisions that will focus on improving students. We have this data by next Monday. I would like at this time to thank our teachers and support staff for their hard work to ensure us, but they are technology platforms to help students engage.
Ms. Mitchell, can you please mute? Yeah, thanks. I'm not hearing you, Mr. Nance.
So I believe Mr. Nance is having some Wi-Fi connection. Mr. Nance, we can't hear your Wi-Fi's going in and out.
Okay, I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Okay, thank you.
It won't take me long at all.
All right. Thank you everyone for your patience. It's just part of the gig when we do everything via technology and we're all in different places, but we appreciate your patience for sure. I'm just gonna give a couple of minutes for him to just pop back in. If not, we'll just move on with our agenda. There he is.
There he is.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to finish up with instruction. I would like at this time to thank our teachers, tutors, and support staff for their hard work to ensure that we do not lose instructional momentum. Teachers are not only developing lessons, but they are incorporating technology platforms to help students engage in the lesson. Sounds easy, but it's not. This is a new way of teaching, and I thank them for quickly learning these new platforms and implementing them in their classrooms. Then, when a teacher is not here, tutors and support staff step in and the instruction continues. You were able to hear that? Going on to technology. You can hear me?
Yes, Mr. Nance.
Technology. Okay. We are currently working through all technology issues, from the computer not turning on anymore to the camera being broken, or I just need a laptop. As I or team members receive your emails or student emails, we are troubleshooting and the concerns quickly. We know how important this is. We are happy to report that the majority of our students are online for class. Important updates. First 9 week ends November 2nd. Any students with a current grade of below a C must meet with his or her teacher to see how they can improve his or her grade. PSAT testing will take place on October 27th to all 8th graders. We are currently finalizing our plan for administering the test. Red Ribbon Week is October 23rd through the 31st. Students will be exposed to learning about how to be drug-free. I'm currently in the process of improving activities created by SGA. Thank you, Mr. Clark. And that's his report for today.
Thank you, Mr. Nance. That was perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving right along with our treasurer's report. Before I do that, I also want to state that I recently just posted in the chat a link for attendance for tonight's meeting. So if you all don't mind going in and clicking on the link, it'll take you to a Google form. If you want, I'll do it again at the end so we can do it on the way out just in case it does anything with your connection. I also have placed a link for SAC membership. Oh, you can't hear me, Ms. Mitchell? You might need to maybe turn the volume up, or you might have to go out and come back in. I'll readmit you back into the meeting. Sometimes that happens. All right, so in the meantime, I'm gonna move forward, and if one of the APs, if you all don't mind manning the chat room for me, you can. Perfect, Ms. Mitchell, thank you, awesome. Okay, so if you can, also the SAC membership. So the SAC membership is done annually. If you do the SAC membership, it is intended that you come to each meeting every month, and we do have a monthly meeting. The only meeting that we omit for the year is the one in December, just because of the holidays and we don't have a lot of school time. So it makes it a very jam-packed time. But we do have our meetings every second Wednesday of the month. It's held at 5:30, and all meetings will be held via Google Meet. And so if you do the SAC membership, you'll be part of the committee. You'll be assisting us with making some sound decisions as far as budgetary needs and not personnel, but budgetary needs. Title I plays a really big part in that. I do a lot of updates and a lot of Title I meetings that get merged with some of our SAC meetings. And so you would be a stakeholder in that. I will tell you this, in order for our school to be successful, we do need active parents like yourselves who are here this evening to continue to be there for us. Tonight I'm going to talk about our school parent compact really briefly, which is part of Title I, which means that we have over 70% of our students who are on free and reduced lunch, which allows us to have a very large budget given to us by the state in order to be able to provide what I call a level playing field for our students. With that said, currently right now in our SAC budget, we currently have $8,304.85. To date, as of this school year, we have not spent any money. However, we're going to introduce Mr. McKelvin later on in the agenda because he is our SGA president, along with being one of our phenomenal civics teachers. And he is working to start to create some events, whether virtually or brick and mortar, for our kids that they can participate in. You know, I know that Mr. Nance went over Mr. Clark's principal's report, but a big part of what we're trying to channel right now is student engagement and parental support. If we can bridge those two, we will be just fine throughout this pandemic. And so those of you who are here tonight, we're asking that you also, you know, if you have a neighbor or a friend whose child also attends Kennedy and they are not present tonight, encourage them to be actively involved and to come to these monthly meetings. They will get a wealth of knowledge of what's happening on the campus. They will understand whether or not safety protocols are being met to their needs to send their child back to school. I know that we're all like in limbo, and as of the 14th, it was requested that families make a decision on whether or not their children would be coming back or staying virtually online. And so those are really tough decisions, and we want our families to make informed decisions. So that can only happen if we are able to have this open line of communication at least monthly, so that we are always in the know. I'm going to move on to our old business membership, which I did. The SAC membership form is in the link in the chat box. You all can just click on the chat, and then they'll take you to a Google form, in which you will do. I implore you all too, because as of right now, I do not have any SAC members currently, and we need SAC members. So if you're willing to commit to join us once a month on Wednesdays at 5:30, I promise I never try to keep these long. It would be in our best interest. All right, new business. So as stated previously, we have what we call a Title I compact. So I'm going to go back to presentation mode. If you all would just bear with me. Toggling on a laptop is not the easiest. So we did our beautiful SAC membership. So our Title I updates. So the student parent compact. So or our school parent compact. Let's put it that way, school parent compact. So the importance with this is, one, it's on our school website. If you don't know how to get to our school website, I'm gonna navigate you through that. This is a compact between the school, the parents, and the students. And so this compact, I call this like the trifecta effect. This allows us to be able to come to agreement on some common norms and some common goals in order to ensure that every student on our campus succeeds. The compact is comprised of 3 parts, and I'm going to show you just in 1 second how to get to that, but it goes over exactly what we will commit as a school site to do for you and your children, being able to communicate effectively with you all, offer support on student goals, whether it's through resources for academics or if it's social and emotional resources, because we do have a number of counselors and or agencies that we work with within the school district and within our school in particular. Communicate with parents and students on their academic and behavior progress. And of course, be able to communicate with families regarding any update on safety or anything of that nature. School decisions and events. So a lot of what we do here on our campus is always, as far as decision making, we try to bring in all stakeholders. And with having a budget of almost $500,000 in Title I funds, it's important for us to be able to reach out to the parents and the students to see what their needs are and to determine whether or not their needs are in fact being met. So I'm going to quickly show you how to go into the school website. Give me 1 quick second. And then you yourself can go in, because I do need every parent and every family to be able to go in and locate this. So you just easily go to JFK Middle at palmbeachschools.org, click on students and parents, and it's turning. This is when we were allowed to be able to do all the fun stuff, and we're going to get back to that. Okay, so here you'll see that we have the compact in 3 different languages. There's a translation copy in Spanish and in Creole. If you click here on the school parent compact, you'll see that we have it. Parents, you're taking full responsibility for ensuring your child attends schools regularly and arrives to school on time, prepared for learning, whether virtually or brick and mortar. This is a big thing right now, because parents, I'm gonna be honest with you, we're finding that the kids, they're logging in and they're doing absolutely nothing. So even if your child is at home and you think they're doing something, and it's not all of them, trust me, but there are some who are not meeting the expectations virtually. And so we've asked our teachers, we've had secretaries, guidance counselors call home to advise, whether the student's progress and whether or not virtual learning seems to be in the child's best interest, and for the family to maybe reconsider their decisions. But nonetheless, we all want to make sure that we're in communication with one another, and that we definitely are taking the precautionary measures to make sure that the kids can actually be successful, whether brick and mortar or virtual. Parents, it's also important that you check SIS. SIS has a lot of information, but more importantly, it specifically shows you where your students or your child stands in each individual class. You can even get detailed itemized assignments, assessments to see where those deficits are. If it's because it's a lack of not doing homework, is it because you're not participating when you're in class? And those are discussions that you can have on the spot to be able to support your child at home. I know oftentimes, and I'm a mom of two, but I know oftentimes for parents, it can be a challenge because you feel like, oh my goodness, like you're taking, algebra 1, and I don't know, that's math I haven't done in eons, or math is not my thing. I can't help you with your homework at home. Well, there's various ways that you can support your child at home without actually necessarily being a tutor in math. Some of that might just be ensuring that they have all the tools necessary. For example, we offer tutorial currently at our school. Did you know that? We're offering it on Mondays and Wednesdays for
math, I think.
Math, and then Tuesdays, and Tuesdays and Thursdays for reading. And so there's a lot of ways that you can ensure that your child attends to be able to get that support. Even if you can't do the math with them, you can definitely make a way to get them to a free tutorial to make sure they're getting that support. And so those are some of the things that you'll find in this compact. And then for the kids, it's really just reiterating those same goals, providing their parents with all the documentation from school, right? We all know sometimes we'll send home a progress report and it lands in the bottom of a backpack. We also know that oftentimes, kids don't want to show you because they didn't do well. So a parent being always in the know, knowing when those progress reports are going out and those report cards, and making sure that we have accurate information for you at the school site, whether it be a phone number, email address, and or home address, so that we can always make sure that we are communicating with you effectively. Additionally, all students, whether brick and mortar or virtually, are utilizing Google Classroom, including the students who came back. So it's important, parents, that you also review assignments and submitted work, and also reach out to teachers whenever you have any questions. By maintaining this trifecta, there's no way that our students have any room for error or that they will fail, because if these support systems are in place and they're strong, our kids will definitely meet our goals. So that's just where you can go. And before I leave, I do want to share with you that there is an agreement. So once you go in and you do this, I just need you all to please sign. You just click on the link and it'll take you to a form that you can complete as a sign-off stating that you agree to the terms as a parent. Before we leave this meeting, that's another link I'm going to add in for you to be able to fill out for us. I greatly appreciate that. All right. So our Title I annual meeting. So this year is a little different. In years past, we've always done the Title I annual meeting in our cafeteria with our parents out, sitting inside the cafeteria with the PowerPoint presentation. This year is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to record the meeting. I'm going to post it on our school website. So please do familiarize yourself with visiting our website at least once a week, because there will be updates. On October 26th, I will release the Title I annual meeting. It will be a pre-recorded meeting. In that meeting, I'm going to discuss exactly what Title I is and what qualifications our school meets in order to receive this the support, the monetary support. I'm going to go in depth over our school-wide plan, our parent family engagement plan, our school compact, again, Parents' Right to Know, and then, of course, the migrant education program and services for homelessness families. These are all things that are definitely, at the forefront right now, just because we're in the middle of a pandemic. And I believe that we all know and feel that it's very important to make sure that, the school's supporting our families. Like, we're all in this together. And that's one of the beauties of the Title I grant, is that, it really does put in some precautions, if you will, like a safety net, so that we're able to really support our families like we really need to. Because we don't just support your kids, we support you too, with being excellent parents, to where we can have very successful students. So that is the Title I update. Again, I hope that you all join me on the 26th for the annual Title I meeting. And then we'll discuss it a little bit more at the November SAC meeting. So next, I'd like to introduce the awesome Mr. Graydon. He is our 8th grade assistant principal, and he is going to go over with you tonight some IB updates and safety.
All right. I hope everyone can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay, Ms. Smith? Yes, awesome. Well, thank you for the wonderful introduction. If anyone's awesome, it's you, Ms. Smith. All right. Mr. Nance stole my thunder just a little bit with Mr. Clark's principal report in regards to drills and safety, but I'm going to repeat that here in just a little bit. But the IB report, JFK continues to work alongside our IB continuum schools. Our feeder pattern consists of Bethune Elementary, then us, JFK, followed by Suncoast High School next door. Our IB coordinator is still Miss Patrica, formerly known as McKelton, but now has been married over the summer, is now Patrica Brown. Our hopes are to bring back the AVID program, which works alongside the IB program, in the very near future. And we are also hoping that for SY22, to bring more high school credit courses onto our campus. As of right now, we have 6 opportunities for students to get high school credits. So a student could feasibly leave our campus with 6 high school credits before going on to high school, which pretty much makes them almost a sophomore when they step foot on campus as a freshman. We also have, with culinary and IT, certification classes as well, so they can leave with 2 high school certifications when they leave JFK as well. Drills, and this is where the thunder got stolen just a little bit, but I'm going to give you the update. We currently have completed 3 of our mandatory 10 fire drills. Most importantly, while we're doing all of our drills, we're still maintaining our safety protocols and following all CDC guidelines. Along those same lines, we have to do 10 code reds, also known as active shooter drills. We have completed 2 of those 10 already. So out of the 20 drills that we're supposed to complete in a school year, we've already finished 5. And we're in the process of scheduling more as we speak. Safety, priority number 1 all day, every day. As simple as that. Even before the pandemic, priority number 1 was always safety, because you have to be safe to learn. So even now that we're in a pandemic, masks are still being enforced every day by every human being on campus, students and adults. Social distancing protocols are still being implemented through campus and in the classrooms. We have directional arrows still on the ground. Nothing has changed. Custodians. We are still staggering our custodians in order to sanitize and disinfect the high touch points around campus. They're also in charge hourly to replenish everything from restrooms to sanitizer stations, emptying the trash cans in classrooms after breakfast, and also in the bathrooms on the hour. In the classrooms, teachers now also have, they've always had wipes, they've always had the sanitizer, but we're now receiving spray bottles and spray from the district and cloths, so that way they can assist with the high touch spots inside their own classrooms. Matter of fact, today, for an example, I was releasing a reading class to go to their next period class, and the students are already trained. They go straight to the jug of wipes, they pull out a couple of wipes, they go back to their seat, they're wiping off their seat before they leave the class, they throw it in the trash, and then they go, so that way the next group that comes in is coming to a sanitized classroom. And lastly, and most importantly, there is a COVID dashboard that is out there for the staff. And according to that, and this is huge, and Mr. Nance alluded to this as well from Mr. Clark's principal opening, and we at JFK are still COVID free. Adults, students, our numbers are still 0 and 0, which is commendable to our custodial staff, our teachers, and our students for doing the right thing on a daily basis. So thank you very much to everyone that's involved, and that's my part.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Hayden. Okay, so we're coming to the end of our SAC meeting this evening. But before I go, I do want to introduce Mr. McKelvin, and I do want to remind you all, please go into the chat. I've put in a couple of hyperlinks for you. The first one being the membership for SAC, the second being attendance, and then the compact that we just discussed. If you would, please go ahead and complete that, the verification that we did go over it and that you agree to the terms. That would be wonderful. I have put that in both English and Spanish for you all. I will also drop it in Creole as well while we let Mr. McKelvin talk, because I do have it in Creole as well for those of you who may need it. And Mr. McKelvin, you are up, my dear. So Mr. McKelvin is speaking on behalf of SGA. He is the sponsor for SGA, and he has recently submitted a request for funding for $2,000 for incentives. At this time, I'm going to ask him, Mr. McKelvin, would you like to share, to present? Do you mind? Or would you like for me to?
It's whatever you're most comfortable with. I can share if you want me to.
If you don't mind, that way I can do the Creole compact and place it in.
Gotcha, not a problem.
I appreciate you.
Can you hear me, Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mr. McKelvin. I am, this is my second year as the SGA sponsor at JFK. I'm also the 7th grade civics EOC teacher here as well. I submitted a request to the SAC committee for $2,000. I came up with this number, and I'm gonna go through all the activities that I'm gonna cover, but this amount is gonna cover every activity and incentive and project that I have planned for this school year. So although we are adhering to COVID regulations, CDC guidelines, district protocol, I'm still trying to make this school year fun for the kids that are here and the kids that are virtual. So I'm trying to make sure that I adapt and offer both types of incentives and activities to the students. Just so if they're staying home, they can still be involved. Right now, my request covers Black History Month, autism awareness, breast cancer, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day, and also I just partnered with the guidance department for Ribbon Week, which is focused on drug-free students this year. And then we also have other events that we go on throughout the year. I'm happy to say that this year SGA has received 50+ applications for membership. It has never been that many kids that have applied, but I think this past year, with the involvement from the other kids, us implementing the school store and other events around the school, like student leadership is starting to grow, and I'm proud that that's happening. So I just want to make sure that I'm providing the school, the community, the students, most importantly, the right and the ability to have these events as they see fit, and make sure that they're just enjoying their time in middle school. So I just wanted to touch base and say that all of my activities, for the most part, are inclusive to all cultures. We try to make sure that, like Ms. Smith just said, whatever she's posting in multiple languages and making sure that it's available to all our parents. All of my events are culturally based. So if there's anything that's coming up with the Haitian independence, Hispanic independence, Cinco de Mayo, anything that's culturally inclusive, I try to partner with the ESOL department and make sure that we're hitting those too. I also want to say that we're just making sure, aligned with the school improvement plan, that student leadership is grown. We want to make sure that we sow into our students' success, that they understand that when they leave from here, that they can conquer anything, no matter what school they're at, no matter if it's Suncoast, it's Gardens, it's Dwyer, that they are willing to take on whatever initiative it may be to make sure that their future is bright. So I always promote a learning environment. I always promote high student engagement. Ms. Smith is always there with me. Mr. Green and Mr. Nance are also great encouragers, and this school really provides the students the best opportunity to be successful and to be our future leaders, because these are our future teachers and politicians. And one of our kids can be one of the kids that cure cancer one day. So we just want to make sure that as an IB World school, as an AVID school, and as a school that promotes leadership, that we are offering to our kids every event, opportunity, incentive, holiday program, whatever it may be, we offer it to them if they show interest in it. So I am asking for $2,000 from the SAC committee to cover costs for the entire school year. All right, that was all that I had, Ms. Smith. If the SAC committee doesn't have anything else for me.
Perfect. Does anyone have any questions regarding what has been requested? Yes, ma'am. You got a question? Hold on. I'm going to see if I can unmute you because you're muted. Hold on. No, I can't. You have to. Do you see the mute? I know you're trying to. Can you unmute it? It's like a little microphone. It's in red. Just click on it. Aww. You can also, if it's easier, if you would like, you can also, oh, I see she has a little technician there in the back. That's right, parents. Sometimes we can't leave home without the kids because they're the only ones that know how to work the technology.
Yeah, that's why. I was going to ask you a question about, usually they send it to me, the form you have to fill out if you want to keep doing virtual.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know where I can get it so I can apply, fill it again?
It's on the school district website. Mr. Graydon, can you put in drop a hot link in for us into the chat? So Mr. Graydon's going to put a link in for you. Today is the last day to be able to do so.
Yes.
To determine whether or not your son or daughter will be virtual or brick and mortar. So he's going to drop the link into the district website where you can go in and fill out the survey.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here this evening. Also, in addition to that, if you would please do the compact for me as well as the SAC membership.
I'm doing it right now.
You're
did
awesome.
the attendance already. That's what I'm doing on my computer right here. I'm doing it too while I'm listening.
Okay, you're awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any other questions before we adjourn this meeting? So at this time, with the request from Mr. McKelvin, I stated to him earlier, being that our SAC chair is not here, and we definitely have the numbers. I'm going to do a preliminary vote because I do feel like what we have here tonight, and if you all are willing to go ahead and complete the SAC memberships, that we can go ahead and take a vote on whether or not we would like to provide the SGA committee with the $2,000 request. I feel like he's very, very thorough. I will present also post a copy of his funding request on the school website so that you can see it's very itemized on what they are purchasing. There are shirts for the students who are going to be joining, being part of the SGA committee, along with, thank you, Mr. Graydon, for the link. It's in there in the chat, everyone, if you needed to complete that survey, along with materials needed for decorations and things of that nature. The SGA committee, Mr. McKelvin and his students, they did a phenomenal job last year. It really does something to a campus when you see young people leading. And they lead by example, of course, so they are amongst great leaders, and under the tutelage of Mr. McKelvin, but it definitely uplifts the student body when they see one another doing positive things, and learning what servitude really is, because they do a lot of community-based projects, or going out to do things within the community and partnering. So it's a really, really wonderful club, and despite the fact that some of them might be virtual, I know that they will come up with creative ways to still keep kids involved and engaged. I mean, the fact that 50 of them have already said that they wanted to join, I think that speaks volumes to the impact that has on the students on our campus. And so with that being said, I'd like to move to a motion to be able to approve the funding request and make a vote this evening for Mr. McKelvin and the SGA committee for the $2,000. Is there a motion on the table?
I motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Graydon. Anyone else?
And I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Nance. So before we go to vote for this, are there any other reservations or questions or concerns that anyone has regarding the $2,000? Remember, we have over $8,000 in our SAC budget. I think giving $2,000 towards the students on our campus to do some positive things are definitely needed. But those are my personal thoughts, not to be placed on yours. But if you feel the same, I think that we are ready to vote. So for those of you who are in favor of us providing SGA with the funding, if you would, you can all raise your hand if your mics are, or if your videos are on. If not, kindly please type in the chat whether you agree, yes or no. And then Ms. Drescher, for note purposes, you can go ahead and just take a little tally of how many of those we have. I'm going to sound off. We have Mr. Nance. This is all different. We have Mr. Graydon. We have myself. All right, Ms. Mitchell saying yes. And I'm sorry if I'm saying your names wrong, because I know that some of you might even be popping in on your kids' emails. So, I mean, on your kids' devices. So I don't know names, but I appreciate you all again for being here. So we are getting yeses. If you could just type in the chat whether or not you agree, and or quickly turn your cameras on so that we can just see your hand being raised.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate you. We have a yes from Ms. Fouché. That is perfect. So I am showing here that we have a total, just so you know. Carmen Pizarro, I don't know if you're there, but if you unmute, hi. Yes, do you agree? Would you agree to the funding? Awesome, thank you.
Miss
What about
Lang?
Jeff? Yes, all right, Ms. Lang says yes. Ms. Lang? Ms. Drescher. Thank you, Ms. Lang. Jennifer Ortiz Gutierrez. Is that a yes? Ms. Mitchell, Ms. Lang. Yes, wonderful. We have it in the chat. So that was for Jennifer Ortiz Gutierrez. Okay, and Magali. Magali, you can just show your face if you agree to that. I'd like to get a quorum this evening. Yes, she types yes inside the chat box. Wonderful, thank you. I appreciate you all for participating in that. So it looks like it looks like we have a unanimous, all 14 of us are in agreement that we are going to provide the $2,000 to the SGA committee. Congratulations, Mr. McKelvin. We know that you and your committee, your team, you guys are going to do wonders for our kids.
Yay.
And brick and mortar.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
We're confident. Thank you. All right. So are there any other announcements for the good of the order? I have kept you all way too long, but I appreciate you all for coming. Again, please make sure that you complete all of the links that are in the chat box. And I appreciate you all. I hope that we see your faces again in November. Please don't be strangers. I'm going to be very transparent with you. This is last meeting that we had not one parent. It made us incredibly sad. But we're not discouraged or defeated because, of course, we're back at it again. And so we're hoping that you all will spread the word with your your friends, your neighbors who have children that also attend Kennedy. Community members can come. They're always welcome to our meetings. But we want more interaction. We want to talk to our families. And hopefully you all were able to find the link for tonight's meeting. It was easy. Hopefully you either got it in your email or you were able to find it on our school website. So if you have any questions, my name is Miss Smith, Rhonda Smith. Feel free to send me an email. I am one of the assistant principals, but also Mr. Graydon and Mr. Nance and Mrs. Boucher. We are all willing to help and assist in any ways that we can with your students. So without further ado, I'd like to adjourn this meeting.
Thank you.
We're adjourning at 6:18, right? Oh,
That's
sorry.
right. We are adjourning at, thank you for doing that properly. We are adjourning at 6:18 this good old Wednesday, October 14th. All right, everyone. See you in November.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.